Wednesday, October 9th. In today's show, we will be taking a look at the We Are 105 podcast and also catching up with 6th graders for their first couple of months of school. And now it's time for GEMS TV.
Good morning, Panthers. Did you know all of GEMS Media are on social media? Make sure to check out GEMS TV on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for the latest updates with GEMS TV, We Are 105, and Panther Press.
A new year, a new class of 6th graders. Brett has a chance to check in with how their transition is going.
This year we have a wave of new 6th grade students. Let's talk to Scarlett, a 6th grade student, about what it's like being a 6th grader.
The easiest part about it is hanging out with friends and going through all of the school day. I would say getting around the classes. Elementary school was a lot more boring, while this you have a whole bunch of new teachers.
Mr. Lucci has been a 6th grade teacher for many years. Let's see what feedback he has about what it's like being a 6th grader from a teacher's perspective.
When they start 6th grade, we've done a good job of trying to make that transition smoother, but it's understanding having different classes and going to different locations and all the different movement that you have to do in middle school. The adjustment is understanding what each teacher wants from you. That's a really key. And when they get that down, they really flourish. They keep their grades up and they do well. But they first have to understand their different teachers, and that's a big step. What they're good at is spirit and wanting to learn and do well. The last 2 years, they've won the spirit competition, so I'm really proud of them. And they want to please the teachers and do well academically. So what happens? Their grades go up, which is a really good sign as being a 6th grader.
Every day, our new students are improving with everything they have trouble with. I'm reporter Brett Rager with videographer Blake Johnson, signing out with GEMS TV.
Attention all 7th graders. October 16th is the information registration meeting for the 2026 East Coast trip. This trip fills up quickly. See Mr. Noonan if you're interested.
In a few weeks, a new season of our podcast, We Are 105, will launch. Here's Gabby with more information.
Here at GEMS, in the past year, we added to our media group. We Are 105 is a podcast on Spotify that students here are running with Mr. Noonan. Let's ask Mr. Noonan what he has planned for the podcast and when we will get started for the new year.
We're aiming at starting the podcast this year, I would say mid to late October. We want to get GEMS TV up and going first, and then we'll start organizing for that. It's still pretty open who's going to be involved this year. Alex Monk and Tori Ridgway were really big last year with the podcast. I know there's been some kids like Lucas and Cece have said they want to be involved, but I need to kind of address the whole class and see who else wants to participate. So it's pretty open right now. I think just continue to do stuff that would interest middle school students and get ideas that are going to be entertaining for them, but also informative. I think there's a balance, right? I think having important topics to middle schoolers, but also having entertaining topics to middle schoolers. Not a lot of schools do it. And it's fairly new, and it just really goes well with everything that we do in broadcasting. It's just a fun format, and then to also host it on Apple and Spotify where people can, anybody can access and listen to it is pretty fun. So the hosts usually work pretty close with me on not only coming up with topics, coming up with questions. We create outlines on the show, and then we usually invite the guests in to go over the outlines. So the hosts have a lot of responsibility. I kind of work with them and help them with the organization, but they got to deliver.
Now that he has informed us about the podcast this year, let's talk to the new hostess.
I have gotten to sit in on a couple of the We Are 105 podcasts, and I've always wanted to be on a podcast. I think because Noonan knew I wanted to be on the podcast and I was interested in it, and I had a lot of ideas for it, and I guess I'm just talkative. You have to control the soundboard and monitor all the audio and keep the round table on topic.
With this information, we now know what the podcast will be like. This is reporter Isabel Crawford with photographer Chrissy Lau with GEMS TV.
And now it's time for sports.
Boys basketball tryouts are now. Today and tomorrow are the last days. 7th grade begins at 3:05, while 8th grade starts at 4:15. Congratulations to all of our fall teams that made it to the playoffs, to the playoff tournament. We will have updates next week on how the tournaments went, but we do have a wrap of how all the regular seasons went. Here's Riley with more.
Since fall has started, there have been sports going on and now wrapping up their season. Volleyball, flag football, and cross country. They have been working hard on their finals. Let's talk to the coaches on how their sport teams are ending the season.
Our season's gone really well. We have a lot of runners in every age group that have qualified for the finals, which has never happened before at the school. So we're looking to have a really good showing today and next week at our finals. We have a lot of runners in the 6th, 7th grade. We have Zoe Whitechurch and Sophia Ramirez and Isabel Ceccarelli. 7th grade boys is Jacoby Boyd and Nevin Owen and Vince Peister. 8th grade girls is Annie Armistead, Isabel Martinez, Chloe Cedarholm. And then 8th grade boys is Enrique de la Cruz, Esteban Ferrer, Noah Whitechurch. We have gotten a lot better at pacing ourselves so we can run all the way through an entire race. Typically, we've had some kids that it's really challenging to make it all the way through, and this year we have a lot of kids who have done a really good job practicing on just pacing themselves, and so they're able to run the entire time.
It's gone pretty good. The 7th grade team has really been working together well. We have a lot of athletes that have played together in the past, and they do a really good job of working together. We are 4-3 in league, and we actually play in the division tournament next week. As for 8th grade, we've struggled a little bit here and there. I have some good athletes out there. I have a really good quarterback in Brett Reger, and sometimes we don't always catch the ball, but we throw it a lot, and we go out and compete every game. Oh, they've gotten a lot better. Defensively, working together is a big point we talk about a lot, and offensively, running their pass routes so they're in the right spot at the right time so the quarterbacks can get them the ball. So overall, their improvement's been a lot better.
This season for volleyball has been awesome. We have a great group of girls who have been playing really hard and want to achieve big-time goals. So this season has been a great one. We'll start off a little rough, but it's gotten better and better as the season's progressed. The team has improved a lot. Not that they didn't have a lot of skills when they came in, but their work ethic has created, I just love how they play, how they know where they belong, where they're positioned, where they belong. So it's been wonderful, the growth of our team.
Now that we have the coaches' view on how the season have gone, let's talk to the athletes about the completion of their sports and how it went for them. What is your highlight from your season?
Getting third place in group.
How have you improved individually?
I feel like I've improved by, running fast, conditioning, practicing with my dad on just breathing and running well.
My highlight from the season was running at Folsom because we got to run right by the lake. I've improved my times. I beat my time last year, my first race this year.
A highlight from my season is when we won against Creekview Ranch because they were undefeated before we played them. I've improved individually by just practicing a lot by myself at home and trying to improve.
A highlight from our season is probably beating 12 Bridges. I've improved individually by just playing club and doing a whole bunch of clinics.
We just made the tournament, so my first season playing. We made the tournament, so that's a highlight.
With all the sports coming to a close, you can see that athletes have been pretty successful with the year. I am reporter Riley Fechner with photographer Chrissy Lau with GEMS TV.
And now we leave you with the new segment, Finish That Phrase. Have a great day, Panthers! It's raining cats and
Dogs.
I'm feeling under the
Bus.
Keep your nose on the
Swivel.
They are as alike as two peas in a
Pear.
A picture's worth 1,000.
Words.
We've got off on the wrong. A penny saved is a penny earned. Don't bury your head in the
Sand.
The company's like family from the top to the bottom, and you feel that support no matter what part of the company you're in. You feel the support of the whole family.
My dad, he's worked here for 28 years. My brother, he's been working here for 6 years. I graduated high school, waited till I was 18, saw a job opening, applied, and just kind of staying with it. The company's been huge for my whole family and possibly maybe my kids one day.
We're not a company of numbers, we're a company of people. I think it comes from Red Emerson. His greatest asset is the people that work for him. It's more than just working here. You know their families, you know what they do, you know their kids play baseball. It's definitely a family operation.
I went to my younger brother's that also works for Sierra Pacific. I looked on the bar stool and I seen his pay stub. I was like, wow, you're making that kind of money? He goes, yeah. And I said, well, the next time they're hiring, then you let me know. That was 14 years ago, and so that's how I got started.
We treat people like family. They aren't just employees. The strength of the company is the people, number one, and that forest resource, number two.
GEMS TV would like to thank our sponsors. Platinum level sponsors: Siller Construction, Lincoln Junior Zebras, Sierra Pacific. Gold level sponsors: Lincoln Museum, Mi Alegria Mexican Antojitos, Jensen Landscaping, Quality Metal Heating and Air. Silver level sponsors: Far West Rents and Ready Mix, Empire Gymnastics Center.